After what was Saturday's debacle against Celtic, Jim Goodwin's side welcome Rangers to Pittodrie in what is a huge game for the home side. Kick-off is at 8 o'clock UK time. Let's put the game into context for you. So, let's be honest, nothing but an Aberdeen win will do tonight to keep us in touch with Rangers in second place. It is, quite simply, after Saturday, a must-win game. Hi everybody, how you doing? A very warm welcome to the Ali Beg ABTV studios. How are you this Tuesday evening? How are you feeling with an hour to kick off? I got to be honest, I'm nervous. So the team news is in. I'll bring you the team news very shortly. We're going to keep the show fairly brief tonight because obviously the game is coming up very shortly. So we're going to be talking to Rory Britton a little bit later, who is a reporter with Aberdeen Live. We continue to talk about what happened on Saturday because let's be honest, it's not going away. We look ahead to tonight's game and a little bit later on we'll be reminiscing slightly because today is a very good day in the football club's history. But the fallout continues to Saturday's loss to Celtic. Let me just bring you up to date with some of the things that people have said. Duncan Shearer wrote in his column this morning, Aberdeen boss Jim Goodwin failed to deliver on his promise with meek surrender to Celtic. And Willie Miller in his column said Aberdeen letting fans and Scottish football down if they don't set up to try and beat Celtic and Rangers. And I have to be honest, I absolutely agree with both of them. So the fallout has continued. Just before I bring you the team news, I'm just going to give you very quickly my own thoughts on tonight. So it's vital that Jim finds the balance between going all out and parking the bus. Saturday's defeat is still simmering, and for me, he has to shift what is bad energy that's been floating around now for the past 48 hours. And there is no better time and no better game to do it. Tonight, I have a message. Let's please be competitive. Let the players express themselves and please do not strangle them. I think he's done that by naming the team that he's done. So let's have a look to see the side that Jim Goodwin has picked tonight. He's made one change. Liam Scales replaces Jack McKenzie, who drops down to the bench. Jayden Richardson will come in. So I've put together a formation, and I have to be honest, I'm not sure what formation he's going to go with, but I'm kind of hoping it'll look something like this, that we do have a flat back four with Hayden at left back, Jayden at right back, Hilber patrolling just in front of the back four, and then giving Connor, Ross and Leighton the freedom to basically play in that midfield area with Duke playing just behind Bojan Majowski. So that's what I think and I'm hoping will happen tonight. So tell me what you think after seeing the team news tonight. Get in touch, usual channels on YouTube, and I will read your comments out tonight. I'm very much looking forward to hearing from you. So, I spoke to Rory Britton. Guys, you know me. You know that I don't like to fester on things, and you know I don't like trying to be overly negative. I always look at the positive side of things, but it's been difficult over the past couple of days to try and find that mindset after watching what was simply a horror show on Saturday, which I hope will never ever be repeated again. And so I believe that it still serves its purpose to talk about. So Rory and I did speak about it. Rory made some very interesting points, and we also discussed tonight's game. So let's get to that, and then I'll see you on the other side of the chat. Hi Rory, it's great to see you. Thank you as always for jumping on, because I know you're heading to the game tonight. Let's begin with a question about you as a journalist. How would you assess the backlash that has come Jim Goodwin's way since Saturday?
I'm stuck on a little bit of a fence. So I totally understand where, teams of the past and everything have always been having a go and properly giving it a go. And even same teams in the past feels a bit of a stretch because the Stephen Glass team was properly giving it a go. So I kind of understand where fans are saying, this is a disgraceful performance. We should be giving it a go. We shouldn't be parking the bus against Celtic or Rangers, teams like that. I kind of feel a little bit sorry for Jim in a way because it's been what feels like a massive pile on from fans, pundits, media, all of that for trying something a little bit different to avoid a repeat of a 4-1 defeat at Ibrox in a similar fashion to playing against Celtic. He's tried something that he hasn't instructed his team to do all season in sort of playing a very defensive game, which is difficult for them when they've been instructed to be all this expansive, attacking, go, go, go. To switch into a style to try and get something out of it rather than getting pumped is, it was brave of him, but it did nearly work, but it also, it minutes from the end and suddenly the whole narrative's come crashing down. So I can reason with fans definitely in that they're upset at the way it was played, the way it was done, and just feeling disappointed and underwhelmed. But I do see Jim's side of it in that he doesn't want to just be playing these two and just getting heavily beaten each time. But I do think that these are the games where it probably is better to go down trying, and actually giving it a go. So I do reason with it, but it does feel a bit excessive because I think we need to remember what Jim has done so far this season in getting the team back up the table, up to third, competing well, getting wins. Yes, there's a lot of things that need fine tuning and sorted out, and it was questionable trying that setup, but I understand where they're coming from with the sort of fury behind it.
So obviously, soon we kick off against Rangers. And I have to say, I can't remember for a very long time that there's hardly been any narrative ahead of this game because everybody's efforts are still very much concentrated on what happened on Saturday, which I think, Rory, is not healthy.
No, I think there's two sides to it. I think, yes, there's always a lot that comes out of these games in the aftermath whenever Aberdeen play Celtic or Rangers, and it's a very tight turnaround because of the way it's been rescheduled into literally just 2 days in between almost, it feels like. But I think just because of how much there was to dissect from that Celtic game, I do get why the build-up has been kind of under the carpet for the Rangers game. We obviously had the defensive style of play that didn't work out in the end. We're parking the bus, we'll call it. And the sort of shock of seeing a team that had been free scoring at Pittodrie all season turning into this almost what felt like an 8-0-2 formation. There's been criticism from pundits, the Miller comments started off a big row, and plenty of comments from players to dissect about defending Jim Goodwin's decisions and things like that. There's been so much coupled into it, this Celtic result, that looking ahead to Rangers game, it felt like there's been no time to build up to it. There's been so much packed into what happened against Celtic that there's been no discussion, even though it is another massive, massive game. And it just is. It's been weird for myself as well because I felt like I've had so much to do with, taking apart what happened against Celtic. I've had little time to look at, what's Michael Beale saying ahead of his first game as Rangers boss coming to Pittodrie. What can we expect from that and everything? It's all been very sort of smushed in over a very short time span, but it does feel really weird thinking we're playing Rangers at home tonight and I'm still thinking about what happened on Saturday. It's weird.
Yeah, no, I totally get it. It's a very strange situation to be in as a fan, I think. So the big question is, what will he do tonight? How do you think he'll set up tonight?
I think it might be a little bit the same again. I think it's what we've seen again with this 3-5-2 sort of setup. He's quite enjoyed deploying them in a 3-5-2 and getting some sort of result out of them. But I would really hope that it's not we have to remember the difference in Celtic and Rangers in that Celtic's attack is absolutely relentless. It's full-blown fury from minute 1 to minute 90, and it's impossible to try and get out of and try and create something. I feel that there could be a few more chances to do that with Rangers, but I also do think that to play this kind of parked bus style again, I think that's going to be really, really risky, because it's another team that, again, does have a good attack that can just keep going and keep pressuring. But I would like to think that if he does try again and avoid another heavy scoreline like the result at Ibrox, I would like to hope that there is something creative going forward, because against Celtic, every single attack felt like it was going wrong. Too many men were all over the place and not in the right area to try and help create anything. So I hope that it can almost be sort of a fine-tuned version of what we got. But I think that might be completely, like it probably will actually be completely against what fans want, because they'll probably after that want to see them just go for it and actually take the game to them. But I don't think Goodwin's going to step away from his sort of idea, because again, it's another tight turnaround. I feel like it's just give it another go, see what we get, and hope for the best, and stick out what we've tried and what we were doing, because they did the defensive side of it very, very well for 87 minutes. We got that spot on, so we know that they can do that. It's just getting something going forward and just having something that they can work with. That is what I feel they need. So I feel it. I don't want to say a full-on repeat, but a few similarities here and there, definitely.
Okay, mate. Well, enjoy the game tonight, because I know you're going. So thank you for jumping on. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon, and a very Merry Christmas to you. And we'll see each other again soon.
Christmas, Ali. Take care.
Bye, mate.
Thank you very much, Rory, for your efforts tonight. Let's get to some of your comments. Thank you for tuning in, guys. It's great to see so many of you on again tonight. Jason Campbell, penalty, Sevco. Scott W, I'm really not looking forward to this tonight. The Scottish Wildman, fit like Loon, just fine. Fit like yourself, lad. Al, my pal, positive thoughts, agreed. Scott W, I don't think we'll lose, but I'm dreading how he's going to set up. James Muir, Goodwin saying in the paper today that after a decent result tonight that nobody will be talking about Saturday's game. Wishful thinking by him, I think. I agree. I haven't been overly convinced about some of the things he's been saying in the past 48 hours, I've got to be honest. I think some of it could have been worded a lot better, let's put it that way. Doric Dave has said, got no idea what Jim was thinking on Saturday, but we have to go steaming in. No place for sitting back. The Gers will demolish us if we do that again. Come on, you Reds. Scott W has gone on to say, we're good enough to control this game tonight. If we go into it with the correct attitude, we can win this 2-1 or 3-1. Jason has gone on to say that he thinks Jim will let the players take the shackles off, unlike the last game. Whether that's enough is debatable. Christopher Mainland. Hi, Christopher. How are you? After the goal on Saturday went in, we showed for 3 minutes that we could go forward. We should have played like that for 90. There is so much we should have done in that 90 minutes. I will get to more of your comments in a moment. But first, I mentioned Jim and some of the things that he's been saying. I picked out what I thought was possibly the most interesting quote from him from an editorial point of view in his press conference that he gave yesterday. I think the most important thing for us is to try and get the balance right between being defensively organised and not leaving ourselves wide open. But of course, we have to offer more of an attacking threat, and that's something we've looked at and studied. Hopefully, we will be able to do that. Well, I hope you're right, Jim. Match stats for you going into tonight's game. Aberdeen are winless in their last 13 league meetings with Rangers since a 1-0 victory at Ibrox in December back in 2018. Jim Goodwin has lost all 9 of his Scottish Premiership games against Rangers as a manager, losing 7 with St Mirren and twice with Aberdeen. The Dons have only won 1 of their past 18 midweek games in the Scottish Premiership. Go figure. and tonight's referee is Willie Collum. If you're not getting to the game tonight, this is what the programme cover looks like from the brilliant Dolly Digital. Leighton Clarkson on the front. And you will notice a bit of a difference at Pittodrie tonight if you are heading down there. The football club tweeted earlier that new floodlights have been installed in the south stand ahead of the game. This £100,000 investment will make a significant difference to the stadium as the club works hard to make Pittodrie more sustainable. And I have to say, I've seen some early pictures and they look rather nice. Let's get back to some more of your comments. Jeff Morin has said, I would have been tempted to have started Johnny Hayes tonight. I agree. Because I thought when Johnny came on, he looked bright and he looked energetic. And I also sensed he was frustrated with the way that we were playing in the minutes that he was on, because I could see that he was asking players to push up, which they were not doing. Malcolm Park. Hi, Malcolm. How you doing? Into this mob tonight. Not gung-ho, but we need to attack and get after them as soon as they are in possession and put pressure on the ball all night. Make them panic. Jim Balfour. Hi, Jim. How are you? I'm still flummoxed 3 days on. I honestly can't fathom if this has been a blip or a breakdown. I think there are so many who completely agree. Angus Fraser. Hi, Gus. How are you? I know he's literally on his way over the golf links as we speak. He just said, have a go. That's all we ask. Don't go mad, but equally don't park the bus. About to head down from the car on the prom now. Michael Findlay. Damned if he does or damned if he doesn't. Have a go and get beat heavily. A section of the fans and media will be on his back, or park the bus and another section of the fans and media are on his back. Michael, you are quite right. That is why tonight he has to find the balance. It's up to him to change the game if the game is not going our way. But you are right. He's in a catch-22 situation, but it's up to him to get himself and the boys out of it. But you make a decent point. James E. Thompson. I would have liked Hayes to have been playing, to be honest. I'm praying we don't remotely play like we did on Saturday. If we do, for me, Jim's time is up. I endured that kind of mentally under McInnes, and I hated it. Rob Clark's come on. Hi, Rob. How you doing? I agree with you on the setup. Football aside, a very Merry Christmas to you and your family, and all to hear as well. Derek Griffiths has said, good evening. Hi, Derek. Come on, you Reds. Needs a decent result tonight after Saturday. Do not think we will get beat. Noel Blaha has come on from the States. Hi, Noel. Good to see you as always. Clarkson on the programme cover could be the talisman we need for a Madison-type moment. Haha. Oh, yes. James Muir has said, your stats don't make for Bonnie reading. They don't. I must admit, James, when I was putting them together earlier today, the midweek one, I didn't see that coming at all. And I kind of knew that our league record against Rangers has not been the very best recently. Keep your comments coming in. It's great to hear from you, as always. Right, just let me clear a couple of the slots on here to free up some bits and pieces. Okay, so, as you know, I love my history. Couple of very interesting points from our history on this day, on the 20th of December. Back in 1903... 1,600 people attended a meeting at Aberdeen's Trades Hall to finalise the merger of Orion, Victoria and Aberdeen into a new club to play at Pittodrie Park. To finance the merger, it was agreed that 1,500 shares of £1 each would be issued. Back in 1983, Aberdeen became the only Scottish club to win 2 European trophies after Sir Alex Ferguson's men defeated Hamburg 2-0 at Pittodrie to win the UEFA Super Cup. And on this day, back in 2007, Jimmy Calderwood's Aberdeen demolished Copenhagen 4-0 in the UEFA Cup group stage to progress to the knockout stage of the competition. A little bit of promotion, a little bit of self-promotion, and forgive me. So the old book, I think it would make a great Christmas present. And the Hamburg games and the Copenhagen games are both covered in the book. There are a number of books in the club shop, and there are still a handful left via the usual purchasing platforms, let's put it that way. But there aren't many, I know that for a fact. So thank you for the support with the book over the past couple of years. My own memories, if you don't mind, I'd just like to share very quickly with you my own memories of the Super Cup, because for many, many years, we as a family always went to Pittodrie on a Saturday and a Wednesday or whatever night it was. And my father, my late father, was quite a passive supporter. He was never one for jumping off his seat and going mad and going crazy. And he always kind of, if Aberdeen scored, he would always kind of stand up and applaud politely. And I never really saw him go mental until the Super Cup. So we took our seats in the main stand, probably just in line with the 18-yard box, just a little bit to the left, where the second section starts of the main stand. Yeah, so you've got that first row of seats, and then you've got the block, and then you've got the next row that go all the way to the back. So we were sat about 2 seats just in front of that first block. And when Mark McGee scored the second goal, he went absolutely bananas. And he came off his seat and he was screaming the word yes. And he was punching his fist through the air, like screaming at the top of his voice. And I've never, ever forgotten it. And I can clearly remember putting my own celebration on hold and looking up at him and just being like, I don't know. It was like I was almost in awe of him doing this because I'd never seen it before. And it's a memory that I think, it will never fade, winning the Super Cup. I've still got my ticket stub from the game, still got my programme from the game, and so blessed to have been able to watch that team, dominate Europe at the time. And then obviously what happened against Copenhagen, I was living in Singapore, I'd only just moved to Singapore at the time, and watched the game in the middle of the night, going absolutely nuts, and got a letter of complaint from my landlord 2 days later from the neighbours who had complained about all the noise I was making at like 4:30 in the morning. Oh, dearie me. Right, let me just see if there's a couple of more comments coming in. Yeah, okay, so Gordon Downey has come on. Hi, Gordon. It's a midnight kickoff here in Dubai, so I'm going on the radio silence, so I hope I have something to look forward to tomorrow after work. Hope you enjoy the game, Gordon. DGA has come in. Hi, Ali, just joined in. What's the group opinion about taking the handbrake off tonight? Folk are basically saying, let's have a go at it. Let's not go mental, but for goodness sake, don't park the bus like what we did on Saturday. Kaiser has said, I've got zero confidence in us getting anything tonight. Oh, come on, Kaiser. Come on. I'm with you. I get you. I understand. So yeah, there we go. Guys, we're all done. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. So if you're just joining in, Aberdeen just made one change tonight. Jim Goodwin basically has brought in Liam Scales for Jack McKenzie, who dropped down to the bench, and Jayden Richardson has also come back in. So potentially we could be looking at a back four, maybe. Jayden on the right, Hayden on the left, Liam and Anthony in the middle, and then we'll see what happens from there. So all that's left to say is the very best of luck to the lads tonight. I just hope and pray that the shackles are off. They're allowed to express themselves. They're allowed to be competitive. They're allowed to show why they play for Aberdeen. And let's get in about them. Let's show them how good we are tonight. Let's close that gap and let's get everybody back in the right frame of mind. Have a fantastic evening, guys. I'll see you tomorrow for the review show. Take care. Bye for now.